In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve the ALEKS problem called multiplication and division of measurements. This problem is going to give you three either multiplication or division problems. It wants to know if the multiplication or division is possible, and if it is, you have to perform it and write the answer in this box. Now, I looked at a few versions of this problem, quite a few, and I never came across one where the proposed math was impossible. I'm not telling you that the answer is always going to be yes here, but I can't imagine a scenario where the answer would be no. I'm pretty sure that it's always going to be yes. And at least in my case, yes. It is always possible in all three of these to perform the proposed division in this case. So I think that I'm just going to go ahead and start with the first one. When you have a proposed multiplication or division that has the same metric base unit, but the unit itself is not exactly the same. So for example, in this, I have milligrams and I'm trying to divide by grams. So they have the same base unit of gram, but one of those is a prefixed unit. In that situation, you are going to need to do a unit conversion. It doesn't matter which unit conversion you do. You could either convert the gram into milligrams or you could convert the milligrams into grams. It's totally your choice. But you do need to perform a unit conversion before you do the division or the multiplication, just to either get rid of the prefix or to give both of the units the same prefix. I'm going to go ahead and write this down here at the bottom just so I have some more space. I've got 50 milligrams squared, and I'm trying to divide that by 0.01 grams. So step number one, I need consistent units. And I think that what I'm going to do is convert my grams into milligrams. So if I want to do that, I need a conversion factor that's going to have the gram unit up on top so that the gram unit can cancel. And I want the milligram unit down on the bottom. And milli is the prefix for 10 to the minus 3. So this is 1 milli is 10 to the minus 3 grams. And this is going to cancel out my gram unit. And now I'm ready to actually carry out the math. For the math on this, I'm going to go 50. I'm going to divide that by 0.01. And then I'm going to multiply that by 10 to the minus 3. I got a couple of multiplications in there. 10, because I'm hitting the wrong button. 10 to the minus 3. And so this gives me an answer of 5. I've got 2 milligram units on top. I've got milligrams squared on top and milligrams on the bottom. So 1 milligram unit is going to cancel from both the top and the bottom, and I get 5 milligrams. Now, it says, probably says to be careful about the number of significant figures. I was zooming out a little bit. It doesn't really say that. This problem, I have 2 sig figs in my numerator. I have 2 sig figs in my denominator. So I need 2 sig figs in my answer. 5.0 milligrams. Now, you might be wondering why I chose to stay in the milligram unit instead of going to the gram unit. And like I said, it's really not going to matter what you choose to do. The reason why I chose to stick with the milligram unit is because that milligram unit is squared. And so if I was going to do a unit conversion for the milligram unit, I would need to perform that conversion 2 times. Which is a little bit more tedious. If I'm converting from grams into milligrams, because I only had 1 gram unit, it wasn't grams squared, I only needed 1 conversion factor for that, so that made the problem go a little bit faster. We're going to do problem number 2. This is 60 centimeters squared over 0.3 meters. Now again, because I have a prefixed meter and a meter, I'm going to need to perform a unit conversion. This one I'm going to do it the other way. So I'm going to go ahead and convert the centimeter just to kind of show you it is a little bit more work. I want to get rid of my centimeter unit. I'm trying to convert it into meters. Centi is the prefix for 10 to the minus 2. That means that there are 10 to the minus 2 meters in a centimeter. And because that is a squared unit, I need to perform this unit conversion 2 times. So this, I'm going to do the math on this first. I've got 60 divided by 0.3, and that's being multiplied by 10 to the negative 2, which is being squared. That is going to give me a 0.02. And my units are centimeters squared over, I've got centimeters being squared here. So my centimeters squared are going to cancel here and here. I've got meters squared over meters. One of those meter units is going to cancel. And that's going to leave me with just meter units. In terms of sig figs, 2 sig figs here, 2 sig figs here. That means I need 2 sig figs in my answer, 0.020 meters. Now this last problem is actually much easier because here I have 2 very different units. I have meters and I have seconds. Those are not the same metric base unit. Those are just 2 entirely different units. And in that case, there isn't anything that we need to do with the units to make the units compatible like we had to do in these earlier problems. We're just going to perform the math. 10 divided by 5 is 2. To 2 sig figs, it's 2.0, and the units are meters over seconds squared. So if you have 2 totally different units, like I have in this case, you don't even need to do anything with the units. Just copy the units over to your answer.